So in the previous video we looked at the git status command, and I'm sure you probably agree at this point that it was really quite helpful in providing us information on what was going on with particular files. Now you probably saw that at one point there was instructions relating to undoing changes in the staging area and the working directory. So let's actually go through and see this for ourselves by actually carrying out some changes and then reverting or removing or sort of backing out of those changes. So we're going to start a terminal, get to the bash shell, and I'm going to go to my repository, standard repository we've been using, and I'm going to go into the converted Git repository. And that was, if you recall, was the one that was the Java project from my Java course that we downloaded for purposes of testing. And let's actually go ahead and modify a file. So what we want to do is have a look at this sorted collections.iml. Now this is obviously only an example file. If you're using another test project, you'll obviously edit any file from that project. But in my case, I'm just going to do a vi space sorted collections.iml. And this is actually the output or the file that's maintained by IntelliJ when you're using that for a Java IDE. So I'm basically just going to put something in the file to indicate that it's changed. So I'm just going to come down here and press enter just to add an extra line. Just basically you want to do something, anything, so that the file is actually different to what it was prior to you editing it, and then save the change. Bearing in mind that we've already added this project to Git, so as far as Git's concerned, this is a file that has been monitored or is being monitored or tracked by Git. And notice how the command prompt's changed to a star now. And if we type in git space status, we can see that sorted collections.iml has now been modified. And currently there's no changes added to commit. You need to use the git add command or the git commit command with the -a. But also up here, notice that we can use the git checkout to discard changes in the working directory. So let's actually see how that works. Now this checkout command is a versatile command which can be used for many things, but one thing that you can use it for is carrying out the action we're wanting to do now, which is to undo the change that we made to this, in this case, the sorted collections.iml file. And it's also used to switch branches, among other things. And we're not going to be going into a lot of detail with the checkout. You can look at BibHash's Git Complete Mastery course if you want to find out more on some of the more sort of advanced commands. In this case, what we're going to use it for is to basically revert that change or undo the change. So we're going to type in git space checkout space -- again, I'm following the syntax on the screen above the red sorted collections.iml, and we type the name of the file. And of course, the name of the file is sorted collections.iml. So I press enter there now. And if we type git status again, on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree is clean. But let's actually have a look at the file now. So vi space sorted collections.iml, and notice that the blank line that I added has now been removed. So what's happened is, by using that git checkout command, the latest version that was in the Git database has overwritten what's in the working directory. So we've got back to the last current version of the file that we've saved previously in the Git database. So that's what the checkout command does. All right. But let's do the same thing as we did before. I'm going to edit the file again. This time I'm going to add another line somewhere. We'll add a couple of lines there just so we know that it's different. Save it. This time we're going to add it, so git space add sorted collections.iml. Okay, we'll do a git space status, noting that this time, because we've issued the git add command, its red changes are ready to be committed. Now notice it's telling us to use the git reset head command to unstage. To unstage would be to take it out of the index or that sort of staging area. So let's actually try doing that. So we're going to do a git space reset. Again, I'm following the syntax on the screen there. Head space, and we're going to use our file name again, sorted collections.iml. You can see we've got some output there that says unstaged changes after reset, and the capital letter M there, then the file name sorted collections.iml. So let's check out what the git status command shows us now. And you can see it's taken us back to the previous state. We now need to issue the git add command if we did want to ultimately commit the file. And then we could actually go through now if we wanted to and do what we did earlier in this video, you git checkout -- space sorted collections.iml, and that reverts the changes, so that if we go back to our file again, vi space sorted collections.iml, you can see those two blank lines no longer appear, and we've got what is the latest version of the sorted collections.iml file from the Git database. Quit out of that. Alright, so that's what we've done there is gone through undoing actions in a repository that already existed, and that of course meant that there were tracked files in the repository and Git was monitoring them, and you saw that we changed those and then went through various commands to remove those changes. But the command for unstaging is a little bit different. If we work in a repository which is fresh and actually doesn't have any tracked files, so let's go and have a look at how to do that. So I'm going to clear, so we start again, cd ... and now let's create a new test repository. So git space init space test repo. I'm going to go into that folder, cd space test repo. Let's create a test file. Save it. Git status. And quite rightly, it's telling us that the file isn't being tracked. Let's add the file. So git space add space test file. Do a git status again. And it's telling us now, because it's a brand new repository, the file hasn't previously been tracked, we've got this option to remove it. Now the -- cached here indicates that we're working with the index, and the rm space -- cached means that we're going to remove the file from the index. So I can type in git space rm space -- cached space test file. And now if I type a git status, we're back at the stage now of saying that Git telling us that there's an untracked file there, test file. And then we can remove the test file altogether by removing the file like so, and do a git status again. And now there's no files, and so Git is saying we've actually got a clean folder and nothing to add. Or to be more precise, it's saying the initial commit. Alright, so at this point we're actually done. So in the next video, we're going to switch over and start looking at a viewing history in a Git repository. So I'll see you in the next video.